Good evening and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. This is my first video in the organization videos that the hop that we're starting over on Ginger's Corner. And I wanted to just thank Ginger for starting that. I need help. So I'm anxious to watch everybody's organization. But what I'm going to show you this evening is just a really quick look at what I've been doing with my die cuts. Now, you're going to see it's in my own handwriting. I don't have fancy dividers. I watched Terry Rice do one time, and she printed them all on her little label maker and had these nice plastic dividers, and I'm not there yet. But this is still way better than what it was before I did this. I just found these folders. They're kind of nice, good, heavy folders that I found at Walmart. And I drew a line and printed because I don't even have all of my categories established yet. And so I'm going to just kind of walk through what I do, how I do it, and the things that I use, the envelopes, the magnetic pages, etc. So I'm establishing my categories as I go. I have several. This is just a basket from Walmart that I got that they just happen to fit in perfectly. I use 10-inch envelopes, and they fit in it perfectly. So you can see I have a miscellaneous category because I nearly always have something that just doesn't fit anywhere else. And then I go alpha, animals, backgrounds, banners, beach and water, basic shapes, birthday, graduation. Let's see what's behind that. Borders, camera, photo strips, clouds, and cooking, household food, envelopes, fishing, camping, hiking, flowers, gears, clock, there comes my dog, frames, grass, greenery, and branches, hearts. And that's all that's in this first one. So I've kind of just showed you how I'm going to keep them, or how I am keeping them. And I've kept them like this for a long time. I'm just working on really getting my dividers done and getting them in the categories that I want them. Now I'm going to move you over here. I'm going to let you see my messy desk, but get the camera up here so that I'm going to just work through a couple of envelopes with you. And that light's really glaring, I think, and kind of show you what I do and how I do it. And it's evolving. I mean, it changes. Sorry, I bumped the camera. It changes, and it will change more. And I actually move things around and all the time. If anybody ever really gets finished organizing their craft materials, that is not me. I'm doing something all the time. So these are the materials that I'm going to show you. These are my favorite magnetic boards. See how thick it is? It's not flimsy. It's big. It's a nice surface, but it is not flimsy whatsoever. I get these from their art bin. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at scrapbook.com. Occasionally, some Hobby Lobbies carry them, some don't. If I go to the Hobby Lobby over on Hewlin in Fort Worth, they have them. If I go to the Hobby Lobby on this side of Fort Worth, they don't have them. So anyway, but they're my favorite. They're expensive. They're pricey. It's about $10, I think, for 3 of these. They come in, I'll show you what they come in. Let me find that. Nope, that's not it. I know I have one somewhere. Yes, this is it. This, I mean, it's got the thing where they hang. And I trim that down and use it as an envelope to put them in because it's the perfect size for them. But there's only one, and there are 3 of those. So you have to figure out what you're going to use for your envelopes. So for envelope, this is the other one that I use. Get this. But see how flimsy it is in comparison? It's a magnetic sheet. It holds pretty well. Get them on Amazon. They come in an envelope like this, but I don't use this envelope. well, I have used this envelope, but I actually taped this shut and cut it across there because I want them to come in and out the top. And we're going to save this because I'm going to work with this one tonight at some point. And then this is, yes, this is an envelope that I got from scrapbook.com, and it had a flap on it, but I cut it off because they're just about an eighth of an inch or quarter of an inch maybe too big for the flap to work. But I don't really care. I really like to be able to just pull them out like that and not have to open a flap. And if what I'm using fits, then I keep it. If it doesn't, I just cut that flap off. They're in that thing like this, and it doesn't really matter that there's not a flap closing down. Now, this is some background. Actually, one's gotten behind there. This is some background dies. The circles, this little kind of, I don't even know what it is. These are bricks. This is like a fishnet, and then this is a fishnet, but like a really small one. So, and I just usually tuck that in there with that one. Now, I didn't cut, this actually needs to go in a different one. I didn't cut these to give myself an example because I can just look at them. So I put them in like this. I can look at them. I know what they are if I want to use them. And they go behind my backgrounds tab. The envelopes that I get and I use most are the ones I get off of Amazon. And that's this envelope. Let me just take this out of here. I don't know why there's two of those. Oh, there's not. It's this envelope. They're very inexpensive. You get a 10-pack for $8.99. So they're less than $1 each. And actually this is this one. I lied. It's this one. And I taped it shut and cut the top off. And it works just fine, and I use them. That way they're not wasted. Then there is this envelope. This is the one that I get off of Amazon. If I'm using this, it fits. I can leave the flap on it. If I'm using this one, then I have to cut the flap off because it doesn't quite fit. But these envelopes, like I said, this is the thing. I just did a little picture of it, and they work great. They're less expensive than these, which I got off of scrapbook.com. These are kind of that, they're not clear, but you can still see really good through them. These are a little heavier duty off of scrapbook.com, but they're more expensive. So, it's a trade-off. And to me, these work just fine. I use these for my die cuts and for my rubber stamps. And I do need to order some more. Okay, so those are the envelopes. That kind of tells you the envelopes. Those are the magnetic sheets. And I don't always use a magnetic sheet, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But, so let's put those aside. This is just an example of how I keep a lot of my dies. Not all of them, but a lot of my dies. This is a bunch. I have a category that's called I think words and phrases, and a file that says words and phrases. And so it's hard sometimes to look at these and to know what they say. And so I make one of everything that I'm going to keep on the back side of this. Happy birthday to you, make a wish, time to celebrate, yay, you are my sunshine, congratulations. So those, I know when I file this in there like this, and when I look at that, I know exactly what's on the back side. So that's one way that I do them. That is my favorite way to do them. Unless, like I showed you the backgrounds, and I can look at those dies and tell exactly what they are. Now, I'm going to do a couple of them with you tonight. So let me show you how I'm going to do this one. Well, let's do this one first because it's just one, and then I'm going to put it away. This is my 4th of July. I have one that says 4th of July. And so this is going to be my 4th of July. I have this die cut that I got for Christmas. and I hadn't done anything with it yet. And so I just turned this over. I used just a tiny little bit of tape on the back side of this because you can get it, you can take it on and off of this, clean it up, and you'll never know this was taped to it. And then I can put the pieces of this over on this side, and I probably won't do those together. This one's real flimsy, but I do like it a lot. Come here. And I've got it stored. I'm just gonna slide it in. It won't fit in that envelope because I need one that's been cut down. So we're just gonna slide that in here. And my 4th of July now has 2 die cuts on it, and it's ready to put in my file. And if I get more that would fit back here, because I do still have some space, I'll just show myself. This is the picture that literally came off of the die cut package, and so I just cut it out and put it on there. This one, since it's so flimsy, I usually cut a piece of fairly substantial. This is just packaging that I saved, like off the back of a fold, you know, a paper pack. And this one isn't as sturdy as I'd like for it to be, but it'll still help hold this pretty sturdy. And then my dies will hold onto it better. So I think I usually cut these like 6.5 by 9.5. I think is what I usually cut them. So let's get our cutter over here. I'm pretty sure I do them 6.5 by 9.5. So let's go. Goodness. Let's go 6.5. Because those envelopes are 7 by 10. 6.5 by 9.5. And you can't really tape very well to the back of this one because it is so flimsy. So I usually just put these in there together like that. So when I am, ew, that doesn't look very good. And these are the ones that I'm going to put on there. This is going to go in my animal category in my little file over here. And so I just put these together. Now, if I was really making these embellishments, I'd put his little head up on foam and do some things like that. But this is just to have, for me, an example so that I know what die cuts are in here. So I'm just going to put him right there. I've got these paw prints. I'm going to put them right over here. Just like this. While I'm just gluing these things on here, I want to do the twist really quick. This twist tonight is absolutely to me. I'll explain it as I go. Let me just read it to you because I don't want to mess this up. I found this little devotional this week. It says, Lord, fix me, because sometimes I am the problem. There are days when my pride builds walls, my words wound, or my impatience clouds my love. Give me the strength to let go of my stubbornness, my fears, and my self-centered ways. Fix me, Lord, because I can't fix myself. Shape me into the person you've called me to be. More loving, more forgiving, more like you. Teach me to take accountability, not to dwell on my failures, but to grow through them. Keep working in me, Lord. I needed that prayer today. I messed up bad yesterday. Do you ever have those days when you really mess up bad? We were discuss. I was talking with a friend, a sweet friend at church, from church anyway, and not, and somehow we mentioned AI, and I said, ugh, that's evil. And I really do feel that AI is like really bad. And I think it can very well be part of the downfall of us. And I think it opens the doors for the evil one to use possibly even the Antichrist. I mean, I've listened to some of the people who are actually create AI, and even they're afraid of it. And it does wonderful things. It's amazing what it can do, how it can accumulate information and sift that information and then compile it into something that is so useful. And it's amazing, but it has so much more power than that. And I'll never forget an interview I saw where Elon Musk said, you know, if we don't keep it under taps, it'll be too late and we can't get it under taps, basically, is what he said. Anyway, I was expressing some of that to my friend, and I mean, I hurt her feelings bad because she works with AI in her job, and she took it as, excuse me, as I thought she should quit her job and not touch AI and just, you know, and I'm like, no, that was not what I intended at all. I just was giving you my opinion of AI, and that I think it can be, even though it's very good and very useful and helps people, I think it can be very damaging and destructive. Anyway, there was no going back. No going back. The damage was done. So I needed this. I needed to pray about it. I needed to, because I have to let it go. I've got to let it go and let the Lord just make a better person out of me, so that maybe I don't feel the need to express my opinions. I am outspoken. I have beliefs and I am outspoken. And so anyway, that was for me, absolutely for me. I don't know if you ever find yourself where your mouth overloads you and your opinions get out and you hurt someone's feelings, but you know, was it worth it? Probably not. So that's where I was. Okay, so now I have, like, these two dies have several pieces. They're not like some of those like that you've seen that have a million pieces each. But sometimes I will, when I'm going to have several dies in the same envelope, I will take either a sandwich bag or a little snack bag, or one of the bags like we put our embellishments in or whatever. And I just put all of the dies. So this is all the ones for the paw prints. These are all of the dies for the little bear. And these are all of the dies for the little sheep. And then I just put them behind here. This wouldn't even have to have a magnetic sheet in it, because I'm really not sticking them to the sheet. So if I wanted to take this magnetic sheet out of there, I could. But I'm going to just put these back in behind there. They don't get too thick, really. And then I've got that. I can put that in my file basket over there. Well, my little file basket over here. And I've got room to add probably a couple more. I'm not doing very good with that. There. And that's how I do that. Sorry about getting that all twisted. But it just works. It's working for me to be able to see what my die cuts are. I'm working on the categories so that I can best find them. And like, I can pull, these are just barely taped on there. So if I get more bears and I want to put all bears on this one, I can do that. If I want farm animals on one, or if I want puppy dogs, I can pull these off and rearrange easily within my animal category. So I don't know if that will help you, but it's how I'm working through my die cuts to get them where I can tell what I have so that I can use them more effectively. And that was my goal. These are some of my materials that I use. And so I hope that's helped you. It's been a journey to try to figure out what I want to do. And then I'm basically doing my rubber stamps very similar, very similar. Now I do have a tub that is for holidays. Primarily it's Christmas. I have a couple of Easter things and a couple of Halloween things, a category for them. But primarily it's Christmas. And I do not mix those with my regular die cuts. So I hope that's helped you. I hope you, I hope the twist tonight helped you. It was what I needed today. It was just what I needed today. So keep me in your prayers. Help me let that go. And I hope you have a blessed day. And above all, be a blessing to someone else. Thank you.